Mike, ultimately a disappointing 4-2 loss.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah, any 4-2 loss is disappointing. I thought we were excellent today, considering the fact that the chips were down and how many players we got out. And listen, I don't want to sound like bad eggs and it sounds like excuses saying you got players out, but we've got so many players out, injuries. But the lads today, we said to them on Thursday, you know, it's time to grow a pair, and they really did. The first 60 minutes of the game, half time, well worthy of being 2-1 up. And you know, they've got a sin bin for the second half, for the whole 10 minutes of the second half, and we just didn't capitalise on it. The objective of the second half was to go out and capitalise on the sin bin, and we just didn't at all.
Unfortunately, we've lost another 2 players today through injury.
Yeah.
One's sadly had to go to hospital.
Mm-hmm.
We've got an injury list as long as our squad list, I think.
It's ridiculous.
At the moment.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you get injuries in football, but, you know, for me today, I really don't understand why he turned a red card, to be honest with you. I can still see it in my eyes now. He's off the floor, he's got both legs stretched out. The referee said it's reckless, nothing more, and give him a yellow card. That doesn't help him sitting in hospital with a probable broken ankle. You know, for me, listen, we're all scared to say stuff about officials, and I'm genuinely not anti-officials, but the standard needs to be a lot higher. We're experiencing a lot of, and I know it's the same for all clubs because we all speak. You know, last week we had 2 70-odd-year-old linesmen and a referee that was coupled up with him to assist him in a game, and it was his first game at our level. Today we had a referee who, for me, it was a farce at the start of the game, where he's rattling both teams because of an underskin that my goalkeeper was wearing, saying it was blue and it was purple. And then at half time, the assessors told our officials that it's okay to wear. I mean, when you start off a game like that and you kick off late because of, I really don't know what's going on at the minute, but I expect better and it needs to be better. The decision for that with Shorty, who's in hospital right now, is a shocker. We should have had a penalty in the first 5-10 minutes, I think it was. It's a blatant penalty for me. The VAR will obviously show that. Obviously, it's deemed not to be. But then a penalty's been given in the second half for something far, far less. And I actually see the ball move myself. You know, I'm not one of these. I'm not sour grapes, but I just think the officiating needs to improve. Being assessed again today, I'd love to know what happens with the assessments, and because I know for a fact that in any other walk of life, if all these assessments are being done at work, etc., you have to improve, and I'm just not seeing it.
Moving away from the officials.
Yeah. I must say, while I'm at it, we've had some really good officials here this season, especially the female referee who come in. She's refereed twice here, and she's absolutely outstanding. Puts all the blokes to shame, if I'm honest with you.
Well done on that little caveat there, mate. Again, we've had to bring in a couple of fresh faces.
Yeah.
We've got another 2 full debuts here today. One of the lads coming on as a substitute.
Yeah.
It was almost like a pre-season lineup with the amount of chopping and changing that we've had to do recently.
It was. I mean, we really adapted well to that today, and like I say, the chips were down with regards to the squad, and they really played well. We had 4 under-21s lads on the bench today. The lads that came on were absolutely outstanding. They came on very, very early in the game, and they've had to play against a really experienced side today. You know, listen, Leicester St Andrews are very good at what they do. Thoroughly deserved to win the game today. You probably wouldn't have said that at 2-1 to us on 60 minutes, I'd say. But you know, maybe things like that, having young players without that experience, etc., that doesn't help when you go into the last 30 minutes. But I think the experience they'd have got in that first 60 and the way they played, it was brilliant. It's brilliant for the football club. But today, when you're playing against a side like Leicester St Andrews, you need that experience, you need that know-how, the game management. And we just didn't do it very well the last 30 minutes.
It was great to go in at half-time 2-1, and then it was just a few minutes of bittiness which allowed them back in the game. Would you agree? All
4 goals we've conceded today, very much like the whole season, are all mistakes by us. Nobody who plays against us batters us. Nobody earns brilliant goals that they've created and put 7, 8, 9 passes together, etc., etc. You never ever see an opposition player score a goal and think, "Oh, that's a worldie." It never happens. It's always off a decision we could have made better or a little miss kick or something like that, we just get punished, and that's just the way it is.
We've put this one to bed now.
Yeah.
Now looking forward to next week's fixture.
Yeah, always looking forward to games. You know, we're here again. Obviously, we enjoy being at home. We've got Gornal next week. Obviously, we just signed Ben Priest and stuff, so there might be a little bit of niggle there. I hope not, because I've got a lot of respect for Gornal and I actually like him as a football club. So, yeah, it's a big game. Obviously, I don't know how other teams have got on yet today, but we definitely will be looking to bounce back next week. There's no doubt about that.
Is there any news upon some of the lads that are injured?
Yeah, Mitch will be back next week. Lewis will be back next week. You know, we'll get a couple back, but our problem has been we'll get a couple back and we'll get a couple go out like today with Taz and Shorty. So that's just the way it is. That's football.
Mike, go and have a beer.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.